What up, this is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Hulu's new documentary miniseries, Legacy, the true story of the LA Lakers. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, ring that bell, so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. Let's rock this. Okay, so as a lifelong Laker fan, yup, that's an old photo of me and the Laker girls at the Staples Center during Christmas. God, they're so hot. Anywho, as I was saying, as a lifelong Laker fan, you know that this documentary series was on the top of my most anticipated list this year. And now that I've watched it, Legacy blows my mind. It really does. I mean, this has got to be the most extensive, most comprehensive, most detailed recollection of the Los Angeles Lakers up and down history from their glorious Showtime era all the way to our recent memory. Well, to be fair, Hulu only granted me the first 6 episodes, so I don't know how it is in the rest of this season. But from what I've seen, I'm telling ya, it really doesn't get more in-depth than this. Now, do you remember that recent HBO dramatization of the Lakers called Winning Time, which only focuses on the 80s Lakers? Well, I actually enjoyed Winning Time. I thought it was nicely done and very well put together. But I also understand why the OG Lakers from that era hated that show. They say it's not accurate. They say the story did them disservice. They say, hey, that's not what happened. I never said such a line. But the information that this new docuseries provides, specifically on the episodes focusing on the 80s, it proves that while Winning Time may not have perfectly captured the personalities down pat, but hell, it wasn't way off either. So think of it as, semi-fictional edging around the borderlines, if you will. That said, Winning Time was not approved by Jeanie and the entire Lakers. But this one, however, does. Legacy did receive their stamp of approval. They were heavily involved with the project from the get-go. And that's all the more reason for you to check it out if you claim to be a lifelong Laker fan like me. When real estate tycoon Dr. Jerry Buss purchased the Los Angeles Lakers in a wildly risky and complex business deal, nobody could have predicted just how much success was to come. Kicking off the Showtime era in 1979, the notorious LA Playboy pioneered the business of basketball. He raised the price of floor seats, introduced dancers and a live band, opened an exclusive private club inside the arena, and cultivated famous fans in Hollywood. Over the last 40 years, the team captured 11 titles and retired the jerseys of some of the NBA's most legendary players. Today, Dr. Buss's empire is now worth more than $5 billion. But all of that success did not come easy. Along with notorious feuds, career-ending illnesses, and a bevy of insurmountable on-court obstacles, the Lakers have also weathered intense drama off the court within Dr. Buss's own family. Running the franchise as a mom-and-pop operation, Dr. Buss gave his children front office jobs with the understanding that they would someday inherit his kingdom. But sibling rivalry, interpersonal conflict, and corporate unrest threatened to destroy everything Dr. Buss worked so hard to build. Now, there are a total of 10 episodes. Again, I've only watched the first 6. Lakers head honcho Jeanie Buss executive produces this show along with director Antoine Fuqua, who somehow found time in his busy schedule to interview all these influential talking heads. I'm talking about Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Derek Fisher, Rick Fox, and Shaq. Hell, even Vlade Divac show up. And you would be surprised at how well his English language has improved. Anyway, Antoine Fuqua also includes Lakers superfans, which means celebrities like Snoop Dogg and Rob Lowe, those rich Hollywood fellas who can afford courtside seats. They too get to share a few minutes of their testimonies about the Lakers. Each episode runs about an hour long, so yes, you really need to pace yourself in order to digest all of its content. It may take you a week, a month, or a year to finish watching this entire docu because each episode is beefy and substantive. It's not just about the friction between Kareem and Magic or the friction between Kobe and Shaq, but on top of that, it chronicles the rocky journey of Jerry Buss's family drama. The grooming, the favoritism, the rivalry, the jealousy. Is this the story of American Dream? I wouldn't call it that, because I'd like to believe that there is meritocracy in American Dream. Thus, there is very little to no meritocracy in Jerry Buss's family situation when everything is just handed to you. Now, as for the Kobe and Shaq era, that's the one that hits home for me the most. Because I remember those three-peat championships like it was yesterday. And many of us were there on the streets of LA for the back-to-back-to-back victory parades. So the story of Kobe going from selfish or self-centered to becoming a team player and one of all-time greats is not news to us Laker fans, but it's riveting to see some of the behind-the-scenes conflicts unfold the way they do on this docu-series. Legacy is very vintage, very nostalgic, very brutally honest. Well, as honest as these famous people are willing to share with you. Legacy, the true story of the LA Lakers, is revealing, it's fascinating, it's admirable. The business end of things and the personal lives all collide into this one epic commemoration of one of Earth's most celebrated dynasties. Rest in peace, Black Mamba.